Google Forms. In this video, you'll learn how to email form, view responses, create quizzes, and embed videos. Let's look at some other things on here. Now, surveys and forms are no good if you're not getting them out to people, correct? So up here in the top right, the send button, just like you had that blue button in Docs for share, you've got the send button here in Forms. So I could email this form directly to somebody to fill out, and I can say, I've invited you to fill out this form, and I can actually embed the form inside the email. Or, so that's to complete the actual form, or I can do a shareable link. And this is what I've done for Moodle. I always shorten it because those are ridiculously long URLs. So I can copy this web address and link it as descriptive text on Moodle, as y'all have seen me do. So those are two ways that you can share the form to get responses, but maybe you're collecting data with another person. I can go in here, bottom left of the send form, and add a collaborator. So that would give this person access to the form. I can give them access to the form just to look at, or I can give them access to actually change it. So then it has her on there now. Morgan can go in there and she can change the actual form, and she also has access to the data. It's super, super snazzy. So the next thing is viewing responses. Let me go into a form that I do have responses on so y'all can see what that looks like. Trying to find something where I won't. Here. So y'all filled out the technology use in education survey. Y'all have seen what it looks like on your side. Now you can see what it looks like on my side. If I hit responses right here, it will show me all the responses that come up. So I've actually had 483 responses since I created this survey. So I can look at a summary. I can also look at the actual questions. I can look at individual responses to it and scroll through each one. Or I can go up here to where it says view responses and sheets. That's what I always use because that's how you pull your data out of forms. So if you're using it for actual data collection, you're going to hit that button every time. But you'll see it turns it into numbers basically. So if you choose on a Likert, y'all saw my Likert scale, these are your actual responses, and I can see the timestamp when the form was filled out. And right here is my column. Here's the question you answered, learning how to use new applications, and here are the actual individual answers. So there is my data for the quarter. And I've hidden everything else from previous quarters, and then down here, once you fill it out a second time, it's going to start to aggregate down there. So if someone was to fill out this survey while I'm looking at it and they press the submit button, their answers will pop up automatically right down here and I'll see them. It's super handy dandy. So let's look at using Google Forms for feedback. I use a Google form in this class for my I use a Google form in this class at the end of the quarter for you to do an evaluation. And so that's a way for me to get feedback from y'all to tell me what I did right this quarter, what I did wrong, how I can improve. So every quarter I have this survey in there and I encourage everybody to go in there and fill it out. But I need to go ahead and add spring 2020. So the students go in there, they fill out this survey, they tell me what I did right, what I did wrong, what technologies they think should be in there. I pull up the responses at the end of the quarter when I'm going through my course redesign, and I change my course based on the feedback. So this link never changes. It's in Moodle. I import it every quarter from class to class. I don't have to go in there and mess with it. And I have all these survey responses in one spot. So it's very easy for me to elicit meaningful feedback from y'all to help improve my actual course structure. If you want, you can create a quiz out of Google Forms. If you go up here to your settings, with most Google things, settings is gonna look like a gear somewhere called a cog. But here are all your settings. But I can go through here and make this a quiz. Now I can have it so that it releases the grade right away and says, yeah, you got 5 out of 5 right. Or I can turn it on so it's a manual revision. Maybe you have open-ended questions on your quiz too. So it'll wait to send back a grade until you've gone through there and you've actually reviewed it yourself. Now you can also turn it on if you want your the people taking the quiz to see the missed questions, so what they got wrong, if you want them to see the correct answer, or if you want them to see the point value. And then what it will do is it pops down this thing called an answer key. Let's make a fake question. And if you see right here, I can actually, you got your little dots here. If it does the arrows, I can move this up and down and reposition my question. So here's my question. Is today a good day? And it pops up these answers, possible answers. Let's add all. Yes, no, maybe. And then I can go down to answer key, click on that, and I tell it what's the right answer. Yes, of course. How many points is this worth? 1. Hit done. So when a student goes in here to take this, I haven't assigned point values on all the other ones, but it will tell them after you submit, depending on how you set it up, it'll either release the review then, the scores then, or it'll hold it for a manual review by you, the creator. But there's my question right down here, and it tells you right there the point value. This is very handy, especially when you integrate it with Google Classroom. You can build quizzes into Classroom, but Forms is a great way to do that too. And then embedding video in your Google form. This is handy dandy if you're using it for instructional purposes. So maybe what you want to do is include a video. Tell your students, watch this video, answer these questions. So you can go right here. This is the YouTube symbol. And if you want, you can put a direct URL using right here, or you can search. And I'm just putting in something generic. Excuse me. So this is absolutely worthless, but I can embed this video. I can go in here and I can change the alignment. I can actually pull it out to make it bigger because maybe I don't think that's big enough, and see how it pops it back to center because that's the alignment I chose. So give your students some sort of prompt, and then you can add in a question afterwards. Ooh, biscuits. And it's going to change to a paragraph. And then answer key. There's feedback. Maybe this should be 2 points. So if a student's looking at it, this is what it looks like. Here's your directions. Watch this video. Here's the video embedded. And then here's my question, my writing prompt right after it. Okay, well, we have reviewed the basics of using Google Forms. I hope this was useful. And as always, let me know what questions you might have.